wave of violence this week in Indianapolis continues with 2 overnight incidents, including a shooting involving police. The first happened along 40th and Butler near Emerson, where 3 people were shot. About 3 hours later, a police officer was injured and a suspect shot. That was along 10th and Shadeland. Eyewitness News reporter Matt McCutcheon brings us up to date on exactly what happened.
Loved ones gather where 3 shooting victims were found down on the street just outside of a home in the 4000 block of North Butler Avenue late Friday night. 2 men were rushed to the hospital in serious condition, a woman in critical. Neighbors say they heard several rounds of gunfire.
We've been living in the same house for 45 years. Same house.
Leroy Jefferson has felt a sense of pride living here, a sentiment he says new residents simply don't share.
Just about everybody in the neighborhood, when I was a kid, they moved out and new people come in, they want to take over these neighborhoods. It doesn't make no sense. It doesn't make no sense. These elderly people over here pay taxes just like everybody else, but you don't come over here and shoot up people's houses for stupidity.
Detectives spent hours at the scene trying to find witnesses who could describe the suspect or suspects in the triple shooting. About 3 hours after that, around 1 o'clock Saturday morning, another violent incident left an officer injured and a suspect shot by police. Someone called 911 about a driver swerving in and out of traffic. Officers got him to pull over along 10th and Shadeland. That's when the suspect got out of the car and police say he shoved an officer down to the ground and took off. Backup arrived and fired at least 1 shot, striking the suspect in the leg.
So before we have another instance of a felon who is out of prison, armed with a handgun, and refuses to surrender peacefully and instead chooses to display a handgun, and ultimately we are forced to use force against that individual.
The driver is facing several charges, including driving under the influence and resisting law enforcement. Both the suspect and the officer have non-life-threatening injuries. Police made 2 other arrests in an unusual circumstance.
And we actually had 2 individuals drive past multiple police cars and drive into our crime scene.
Those 2 drivers face driving under the influence charges, wrapping up a busy overnight period for police. Matt McCutcheon, Channel 13 Eyewitness News.
Metro Police are now identifying the suspect in that officer-involved shooting as 33-year-old Brandon Gregg. He is in stable condition at Eskenazi Hospital, where he is still being treated for his injuries tonight.